Hello, story lovers. Are you ready for the chapter where everything changes? Maria's new life feels like a dream, until unexpected tension at work, a growing connection with Noah, and a secret she's been hiding threaten to push it all out of reach. As emotions rise and pressure builds, one choice could shift everything. Will she finally speak her truth, or stay silent and risk losing it all? Before we dive in, hit the like button if you're excited to hear more, and subscribe for more incredible stories. Your support means everything to me. Maria hadn't expected this kind of tenderness, not from anyone, and especially not from someone like Noah Ellison. But after her loss, he never left her side. He checked on her every morning with fresh fruit and herbal tea, held her when the waves of grief came crashing, and made her feel not broken, not pitied, but worthy. He made her laugh, told her she looked beautiful even when her eyes were red from crying. And when she couldn't sleep, he sat with her on the deck and watched the stars in silence. For the first time in a long time, she felt loved, even if the word hadn't been spoken aloud. Their last night on the cruise arrived faster than she wanted. They sat together at a quiet dinner by the pool, soft music playing in the background. Maria wore a lavender sundress that caught the light when she moved. Her curls were pinned loosely to the side, and she hadn't worn makeup. Noah had told her more than once she didn't need it. He looked nervous, different, more focused. "Noah?" she asked softly. He set down his fork and reached across the table, gently taking her hand. "Maria," he said, "I know this trip was supposed to be 2 weeks of healing, and I can't tell you how grateful I am that I got to share it with you." She smiled, touched but guarded. "Me too." "But," he continued, "I don't think your journey is supposed to end just yet." She tilted her head. "What do you mean?" "I want to ask you something. Something big." She held her breath. "Stay another week. With me." Her eyes widened. "Noah!" "I know," he said quickly. "I know you have a life back home. 2 jobs, responsibilities. But Maria, I spoke with our HR director. There's an opening at our corporate office in Miami, creative operations. It pays double what you make right now, steady work, benefits, a fresh start." Maria's heart thudded. "You'd do that for me?" she asked, voice cracking. "I want to," he said, eyes holding hers. "You've spent so long holding others up. Let someone hold you for once." Her throat tightened. She was torn between her need for stability and this pull toward something unfamiliar, something tender and wildly terrifying. But as she looked at him, the decision formed in her chest like a whisper. Yes. The next few days flew by like waves over sand. They laughed, explored the islands, shared long, quiet meals, and inside jokes that had started to feel like their own language. Then, 2 nights before disembarkation, Noah slipped a note under her cabin door. "Dinner? My suite. 7 p.m. Dress comfortably. Come hungry. N." Her heart stuttered as she read it. When she knocked on his door that evening, she was shaking slightly. Not from fear, but from the weight of what she was beginning to feel. He opened the door, wearing a crisp white shirt, barefoot, the sleeves rolled up. "Wow," he breathed. She blushed. "You said comfortable." "You make comfortable look dangerous." She stepped inside and gasped. The suite was dimly lit with candles lining the windows, the balcony doors thrown open to let in the soft breeze and scent of the sea. A small table was set near the glass, dressed in white linen, with fresh flowers in the center. He handed her a bouquet of lilies and pale pink roses. "For the strongest woman I've ever met," he said. Dinner was simple but intimate. Seafood linguine, sparkling water with lemon, and chocolate mousse for dessert. They talked about music, childhood dreams, and the parts of themselves they hadn't shared with anyone in years. But as the night wore on, the space between them shrank. She reached across the table to touch his hand. He brought her fingers to his lips. Their eyes locked. And suddenly, words weren't needed. The kiss was soft, slow, tentative at first, as if they were both testing the weight of the moment. But when she leaned in fully, it became something deeper, an unspoken release of 5 years of bottled hurt and silent longing. They didn't rush. There were no grand declarations, just closeness, emotional, honest, and tender, as they sat together, heart to heart, letting the night wrap around them like a secret meant only for them. She woke up with the sun streaming through the sheer curtains, tangled in the soft white sheets, her head resting on Noah's chest. For a moment, she didn't move. Then he stirred, eyes blinking open, meeting hers with a sleepy smile. "Good morning," he whispered. "Hi," she said, voice barely above a breath. "You stayed," he murmured. "I didn't want to go," she admitted. He tucked a curl behind her ear and said, "Let's not talk about leaving yet." Their final day on the ship was a blur of lingering glances, laughter, and quiet hand-holding. They took one last walk around the upper deck, arms wrapped around each other as the sky painted itself in orange and lavender. As they stood by the railing, the shoreline of Miami visible in the distance, Maria felt her chest tighten. Not from fear, but from hope. She had come on this cruise to forget her pain. She was leaving with a new chapter, written in laughter, grief, and love. At disembarkation, she paused at the edge of the dock, suitcase in hand, looking back one last time. Her life was no longer what it used to be. She didn't know what would happen next. But for the first time in a long, long time, she was excited to find out. Maria stood in the middle of her new apartment, a spacious 2-bedroom with tall windows and a view of downtown Miami's soft skyline. Sunlight spilled across the hardwood floors. It was quiet, almost too quiet. She'd always dreamed of living in a space like this, and now it was hers. But as she stared at her reflection in the hallway mirror, buttoning up her soft blue blouse for her first day at Ellison Cruises Corporate, anxiety tangled with excitement in her chest. This was a fresh start, but fresh starts still came with butterflies. Her hand brushed across her chest as she whispered, "You've got this." The office was sleek, coastal-inspired, with touches of luxury and professionalism. Maria's new role, creative operations assistant, was demanding but exciting. Her ideas were welcomed. Her voice was heard. For the first time in a long time, she didn't feel invisible. And then Noah walked in. Not as the man she spent a tender night with weeks ago, but as the CEO's son and part of the executive board. He didn't draw attention to himself. He slipped into her floor quietly, holding a small potted plant and a container of her favorite passion fruit smoothie. "Welcome home," he said, flashing that same smile that once unraveled her on a moonlit beach. Maria's heart fluttered, but she felt a few stares on her back. One of them came from Tracy, a tall, poised woman in sharp heels and even sharper glares. Her smile at Noah was too sweet. her tone too familiar. Maria noticed the subtle brush of Tracy's hand against Noah's arm. Territorial. Possessive. Noah, ever polite, barely noticed. But Maria did, and so did Tracy. By the end of the day, whispers lingered. Tracy passed Maria's desk with a too-tight smile and a loaded glance. "She's new," Maria overheard her say on the phone. "Let's see how long that lasts." That evening, Noah knocked on Maria's apartment door, holding Thai food and wearing that soft, worn t-shirt she loved. They ate cross-legged on her living room floor, the city lights twinkling through the windows. But the question burned on her tongue. And finally, she asked, "Who's Tracy?" Noah paused, looked up from his food, then exhaled. "She used to work on the international marketing team," he said carefully. "She's smart, sharp. My dad mentored her directly. She misread a few things." Maria's heart thudded. "She told people you were her man," she said quietly. Noah set his food down. "She wasn't. Not ever. She tried, pushed boundaries, sent messages that weren't returned. One night at a company event, she kissed me without asking, and I made it clear it would never happen again." He looked Maria dead in the eyes. "I've never kissed anyone the way I kissed you. I've never felt for anyone the way I feel about you." Maria didn't reply immediately. Instead, she leaned forward and rested her head on his shoulder. Because she believed him. But she also knew Tracy wasn't done. Over the next few months, Maria and Noah built something real. Weekend brunches turned into road trips. She introduced him to her parents over Sunday dinner, nervous out of her mind. But they adored him almost instantly. Her father grilled him about career plans. Her mother made him carry leftovers and hugged him twice before he left. Maria had never seen her mother approve of a man so quickly. In those months, Noah became her safe place, her laughter, her best friend, her protector. But there was one thing she still hadn't told him. The secret she carried. Not about her past, but about the second pregnancy test she'd taken. 3 weeks after the disappearing pregnancy diagnosis. The one she hadn't believed until the blood work confirmed it. She was pregnant, and now, almost 3 months along, she had wanted to wait, to be sure, to give it time. But the longer she waited, the heavier it felt. One Friday evening, Noah picked her up wearing a fitted navy blazer, nervous energy practically radiating off him. "Tonight's dinner. It's at my parents' house," he said. "I want you to meet them." Maria froze. His parents. As in the Ellisons. Miami's elite. A family known for philanthropy, innovation, and magazine covers. And here she was, Maria Steele, the once-forgotten wife who had nothing but resilience and a child growing inside her that he didn't yet know about. Her voice barely worked. "They know about me? They know I met someone incredible. Someone who makes me feel alive. They're excited to meet you." Maria nodded slowly, her fingers unconsciously brushing over the soft curve beginning to form beneath her blouse. She smiled, but it was tight. Because tonight, at a dinner table dressed in silver and crystal, she might have to break open the secret that could change everything. If you liked the story, give the video a like and drop your favorite part in the comments. Subscribe and click the playlist for more incredible stories. See you next time, and remember, love is free.